Yes.
We're on.
Good. Let's go. It's your show.
Let's go. How are you?
Good.
Give me a little more light. Sorry, we had a bit of a glitch there, but we're on together.
All right.
Where are you right now?
I'm in my studio.
Mm-hmm. And what time is your show air in Chicago?
I have no idea. We're in 300 markets. I think it's, probably going to be, 3 to 6, but sometimes they delay it.
Yeah. A lot of calls. You get a lot of reaction from Chicago?
It's amazing. Most of my calls are from California. I get some calls from Chicago, from Philly, but we get Brazil, we get Israel. Wow. We're all over the place.
And how are you feeling about the state of the nation right now and the mood of the people?
Well, the state of the nation is disastrous, given the fact that we've had this senile, decrepit old man in the White House for 3 years now, who is doing everything possible to destroy the nation and Western civilization. On the flip side, you see President Trump at the Clemson game, and America loves him. He's 50-plus points before any other challenger on the Republican side. He's crushing Biden in even the swing states. So, look, it looks good, but we've got 11 months and a week to go, and that's a long time in politics.
Is it by design? I sound horrible, by the way. I don't usually sound this bad. We're having mic problems. But is Biden and his group, are they destroying America on purpose? Is there a plan?
Yeah, I don't think there's some master plan or some blueprint, but it doesn't really matter if there isn't if there was one, because all of these people share something in common, whether it's Obama, whether it's Biden, whether it's AOC, they all hate America. You don't need a master plan if you detest America. If you detest America, these are the actions you would take. So it's the wrong question. These people hate America. That's all you need to know.
Mm-hmm. The open border thing, is that part of the plan to what? Destroy what our open border? I mean, does Hungary have the right idea?
Well, no, the open border is because liberals don't have babies. I mean, that's why the open border. I mean, if you don't have babies, who's going to vote for you, right?
Yeah.
And they're such bigots, they're such racists that they think if you're brown, if you're black, and you come in illegally and we amnesty you, you're automatically going to vote Democrat. I mean, this is the bigotry of the plantation without the plantation. So, no, this is, generating fiat constituencies because liberals don't have babies. That's what it's really about. It's about maintaining power. If they amnesty 18 million illegals, if they lower the voting age to 16 and pack the Supreme Court and redistrict the electoral map, then that's it. They're locked in for life. That's why open borders.
Did you talk on your show, or did you talk about the University of Michigan and their stance? Looks like they're voting to take a stance against Israel.
No, I haven't seen that. But why would that be surprising? I mean, we conservatives have handed over academe, with the odd exceptions of the Hillsdales, the Grove Cities, the Liberty U's. Look at the figures. I mean, Victor Davis Hanson just used this in one of his amazing interviews. 93% of professors who give political donations give them to the Democrats. So of course they hate Israel. I mean, when you see I used this video clip on my Newsmax show. When you see a Jewish student at Boston University ripping down the posters of the kidnapped children in Israel, it tells you everything you need to know.
Are we done?
No, we're never done.
As a country?
No, we're never done. I mean, that's un-American. Do you think the founding fathers thought they were done when less than 2% of the population fought against the British? No, it's like Rush Limbaugh said not long before he died, when somebody asked him, is it time to despair? No, you never despair, because it's bloody un-American.
The trend is not our friend right now.
So what? What did the trend look like during the Civil War? What did the trend look like at Pearl Harbor? What did the trend look like on 9/11? I don't give a shit about trend lines. Yeah. Do you?
I'll tell you, I love talking to you.
Good.
No, I really do. I need this. This is good. Yeah, it's I did a radio show for many years in Chicago, a very criminal liberal city, and it was like running face first into a brick wall. And of course, everything you predict happens, and nobody ever says, "Oh, well, you were right." It's just constant vitriol and name calling, and yeah, it bothered me, and it bothers me. When I turn on TV, every movie I see, everything that I grew up with is being destroyed. It seems pretty bleak. The prices at the grocery store, the people sitting on TV talking about how great Biden is. I don't know how you can do it. I don't know how they can do it with a straight face. So I continue to fight. That's what this show is somewhat, but no, it's depressing.
Well, you asked about trend lines. Are you depressed by international trend lines? Whether it's Meloni in Italy, whether it's Argentina and Milei. I mean, seriously, whether it was Brexit in the UK. I mean, if there's any trend line that matters, it's the rejection of the elites, from Brexit to Trump to Meloni to Milei to Modi in India. There's only one trend line that's really demonstrable internationally, and it's the rejection of the international unelected elitists. That's the only trend line I see. And if that doesn't make you feel good, then nothing will.
Thank you. Thank you. I needed this. I don't do the show for me, but I needed this. I needed to hear this. Argentina is exciting, and I have been following that. And I know some people behind the scenes have been helping in Argentina. But I was looking at, if this keeps going, a plan B, and I did want to talk to you about that. But you think is that anti-American to think maybe Hungary, maybe Costa Rica, if this keeps headed?
Yeah, that is anti-American. That's defeatist, and that's being a surrender monkey. If you're going to run away to Costa Rica, a friend of mine said this to me about 3 years ago, and I said the same thing. Really? Then what the hell makes you an American? Yeah. Really? What's American about you? That you're going to desert the greatest nation on God's green earth, and you're not an American. You can run away, but then you're a coward and you're not an American. So go away. Leave now. It's like all these people who say, oh, I'm never going to vote again, and they lost it in 2020. Well, what the hell did you do about it? I mean, don't bitch and moan to me on social media. If you weren't working a 16-hour shift like my wife does as a chief election officer, then go to hell. Then leave the country. Go and live in Venezuela. Yeah. If you're not doing something about it, I don't mean you have to be a radio host or a syndicated, whatever. If you're not, as an American, doing something to claw back the country, you don't deserve to live here. It's really that simple. It's like, wanting to win a war without fighting. You want to win a war without fighting. You don't deserve to win if you're not on the battlefield. If you're not politically active, then you can bitch and moan about the rhinos. You can moan about, voting machines. But if you're doing that and you're not part of the solution, it's very simple. You're part of the problem.
Watching Chicago rot, looking at the violence, afraid to go into the city because I have a wife and daughters. Is it anti-American? Is it to want to get out of here? Let's say I want to get out of my taxes on my house are $45,000 a year. I'm sick of rewarding these bastards. So Florida, is that chickening out, or some other place?
I don't know, because that's not about America. That's about where you live in America. And, that is the genius of our system. There's two things we will forever be eternally grateful for to our founding fathers. Number one, it's the Electoral College. And number two, that they created a federative republic, that we are a federation of states. We are a republic in which every state is equal. There's a reason why there's, South Dakota has 2 senators and so does California. So I'm kind of torn on this question, because I have friends who've moved to Florida, and I've got other great freedom fighters who have decided they're never going to surrender California, and they're staying there. So I leave that up to the individual. You can still be an American and move from Chicago to Texas, but it's giving up on the country that I find un-American. You can give up on crappy towns or crappy cities or whatever, but I don't think that's un-American. That's being realistic, especially if you're in a certain time of your life. If we had small kids, Our kids are grown now. There's no way on God's green earth I'd live in New York, for example, or Chicago. So
Yeah.
these are personal choices you make, but they're not about surrendering the nation. They're about making wise choices at a specific time in your life.
What do I call you? Do I call you Dr. Gorka or Sebastian, or what do you like to be called?
Well, whatever. Call me Dr. G, Seb, Sebastian, whatever's easiest.
Is Roger Stone a good guy?
I think he's a political whore.
Mm-hmm. What radio shows do you listen to?
My show prep, and I've admitted this publicly, is listening to my buddy Chris Plant in the morning on WMAL. I love Chris Plant. Then I try and catch. I only usually get about an hour of it because I got to really do my show prep. I get Dan Bongino. I love Mark Levin. I love, my Salem colleagues. God bless them. Mark Gallagher, who's the champion. Dennis Prager, Charlie Kirk. When it comes to podcasts, my favorite American podcast is my buddy Andrew Clavin. So, this is the glorious thing about radio is we own it. The good guys own talk radio, political. The left has tried it with Democracy Now! And America. And it's America or whatever. It's just like 3 hours of screeching harridans, and nobody wants to listen to it. So no, God, we need to be grateful for podcasts and talk radio. Even Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan's he may be Bernie bro or whatever, but he's a libertarian and he dominates it. So whether it's podcasts or radio, it is ours.
Chris Plant is one of my closest buddies. So, and we had Kevin Burns. I'm sure we have other mutual friends. Some of the guys over at Freedom Square, and and I love Prager. Prager is, my wife is a big fan. It kind of bothered me because she would listen to him every day. My show, but she loves Prager, and we're fans of you as well. What is it? I met Shatner, and I'm trying to think who else. Adam West, who played Batman. And what is it? Their voices and your voice. When people listen to you, I find myself talking like Sebastian Gorka or whatever. Do people imitate you a lot to your face?
They try, but they usually fail. It's hard. It's hard.
If I had a Bible, would you put your hand on it and swear that Relief Factor really works?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, there's a reason I take it every day. There's a reason my wife, who was incredible. The glorious thing about Salem is that I don't know about other radio companies because I've never worked for other radio companies. We, the hosts, get to choose our advertisers. Yeah. So, the sales team will come to us and say, hey, there's this new potential client. Are you interested in that? I get to choose. Like, I'm never going to be advertising Viagra or, beauty products and all this kind of stuff and Genucel. I ain't going to be doing that. But when I heard of this thing, Relief Factor, I said, all right, I'll give it a try. Yeah. I had a lower back thing that bugged me for 9 years, for almost a decade. Nothing I did worked. I took Relief Factor. 2 weeks later, it disappeared, and I'm pain-free almost 5 years later. My wife, total skeptic. Her doctor said, yeah, you've got arthritis. She asked the doctor, okay, doctor, what can I do about it? He said, nothing. You've got arthritis. And live with it. And then she started taking it. Now she religiously takes it. So look, and it's not anything secret. The ingredients are all known anti-inflammatories. It's just very high dose of natural anti-inflammatories. It's resveratrol, curcumin, omega-3s. These are all, demonstrable natural anti-inflammatories. And more than 1 million people taking it. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, I wasn't paid. We should say you didn't make this part of the. I didn't have to do that for you to come on the show. I want people to know that because
I'm getting paid this much to come on your show.
Yes,
nothing.
Do you regret it yet?
No, it's different. It's interesting. It's different.
Well, you knocked me for a loop with some of the stuff you said. And I like it. As a host, you want to be.
Why are you asking me about Roger Stone?
I'm friendly with him. I raised money to help him. We did a fundraiser in Chicago that was successful.
But you're friendly with a lot of people. It's just like, why of all the people do you ask me about him? I'm curious.
Because when I was getting ready for this interview, I saw that you had a connection to Bannon.
Oh yeah, well, I worked for him. I worked for him
Yeah.
at Breitbart, and I worked for him in the White House.
And, you know, I don't think Stone and Bannon get along very well. And I was just curious, were you still on that? Stone's line is that if you have impotence problems, no, if you have premature problems, he recommends people think of Steve Bannon, and it'll help you last longer in the bed. That was one of his lines.
Well, that's the kind of political whore he is. He's not a serious man. And anybody who says stuff like that is not a serious individual.
Well, he's being funny. He's trying to be funny.
Well, you can be funny or you can be serious.
Yeah.
You can't be both. You can't be a serious political actor and be funny. You're a clown. You can be a clown or you can be a serious man. And what America needs right now, what Western civilization needs, is more serious men. Roger Stone isn't a serious man. He's not a serious man. Just the way he dresses tells you he's not a serious man. He's a narcissist and a political whore.
Is Trump our next president or our president again?
It's up to us. I mean, whenever people ask me that question, I say, well, what are you doing about it? I mean, it truly is up to us. He's one man. Yes, he's the most famous man in the world, but he is only one man. He can't vote for himself 90 million times, but he's the only man in history who has received 130 million votes, the only man alive in America who's ever received more than 130 million votes. We have to make sure that we get so many people mobilized for him that it doesn't matter how much they cheat, they can't win.
Would you work for him again?
No, absolutely. Yeah. I was at Mar-a-Lago on Monday. We spoke. We talked about what I could do for him, and he, absolutely. I mean, look, when you get a request from the president to work for him, it's not
you do it.
It's not an honor; it's a duty and an honor.
What was his mistake? Was Cook? Some of the people around him? Do you think did he surround himself with bad people? Not you, but
I don't know if you could term it a mistake. His mistake was why we elected him. He wasn't a politician.
Yeah,
I mean, it's the first time in history that we elected somebody who isn't a politician or a retired general. And as such, he didn't bring with him a massive schlep, a massive coterie of his bench or his strap hangers. And as such, he had no team. I mean, I've said this before. I've said this when I worked in the White House and when I left the White House. On Saturday the 21st, when I went to work, the day after the inauguration, of the hundreds of people in the White House and of the 4,000 presidential appointees, and this is not an exaggeration, I can give you the names right now, there were less than 20 of us in senior positions who were MAGA. I mean, who knew why he was elected, who understood America first and knew what it took to implement it. We had no bench. I mean, it was an act of God that we won. I mean, truly, it was. Hillary Clinton had everything. She had the media. She outspent us by 100%, $1.4 billion. It was her position, and she lost it thanks to the grace of God. And as a result, we had to fill positions, and the rhinos came in, and the subversives like General Kelly, Vindeman, and the rest of them. So this is my number, and I've said this, I don't know, 1,000 times on my radio show. This is my number one concern, because it really doesn't matter what your heartfelt issue is, whether it's, I'm a big gun guy, whether it's the Second Amendment, the First Amendment, whether it's the border, whether it's the economy. It doesn't really matter what your issue is. If we don't get personnel right, and if we don't stop fifth columnist subversives coming into the administration, it doesn't matter. So, I spoke about that with the president. He understands that is absolutely a crucial issue. So, it's up to us.
Dr. G, this is not a gotcha question. Do you think he won?
Well, of course he won. I mean, forget about voting machines and boarded over windows and suitcases of ballots being pulled from under the table on CCTV. I tell people, I don't care about that. I mean, that empirical stuff is irrelevant. Here's the test. Are you telling me with a straight face that a senile man who's been in politics for 47 years, who even his former boss Obama said, never underestimate the capacity of Joe to F things up, right?
Yes.
That's his former boss.
Yes.
You're telling me that guy who didn't campaign, who stayed in his basement while President Trump was filling stadia with 60,000 people. You're telling me that guy?
Yeah.
got more
Nobody
votes.
showed up for any of his rallies. Nobody cared.
And you're telling me that guy got more votes than the first black president? Come on.
Yeah.
Wake up.
I've had I feel the same way. I've had very smart people tell me, no. People were upset at Donald, and he genuinely lost. I still find it hard to believe, but I've had. Yeah. Have you ever seen Newsmax, the TV station?
I have a show on Newsmax. Yes.
Not Newsmax. I'm sorry. What's the other one? A News Nation. What do you think of that? They're trying to be fair and balanced.
Well, they hired Fredo Cuomo. Are you kidding me?
I had a yes. Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. How is Chris Ruddy?
Roid Rage Fredo? Are you kidding me?
How is my buddy Chris Ruddy over at Newsmax?
Oh yeah, we love you. We love Chris. We love Newsmax, and they're crushing it.
Did you see Napoleon yet?
See the what?
The movie Napoleon yet?
I wanted to see it tonight, and I'm not seeing it because of you. My wife's wanted to go out tonight to see it, so maybe tomorrow.
I don't want to say big mistake, but it's really great. I don't know what the naysayers.
Oh, look, it's Ridley Scott. It's
Yes.
going to be visually stunning. We'll see how it is when it comes to story making, because my favorite movie of all time is Blade Runner, but he did also make G.I. Jane. So come on, hopefully it won't be like G.I. Jane.
It's very episodic, which there's a 4-hour version that's going to be coming to cable. Man, it's boom, 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 boom. The sexuality people have questioned, but it's pretty accurate based on his letters, which I think we've read. And the English took great delight in publishing his letters that they got and put them in the newspaper, and they show that. And the battle scenes are, well, like you said, Gladiator and some of these other movies. He knows how to score that and how to do that. And I think he made the right choice coming on here, but it's a great movie. And I also thought The Holdovers was good. So listen, anything else there seems like there was one other thing I wanted to ask you. What was it? Gert Wilders. Have you interviewed him?
I have not. I've been following him for more than a decade. I think we met at a CPAC years ago. But now that you mention it, I'm thinking I'm going to have to reach out to him because he's that's another one. Oh my gosh, how did I leave that out? Yeah, Maloney, Wilders.
So Dr. G, I've interviewed him several times. And I've been to Israel several times. And have you been to Israel?
Many times. I took 400 listeners there in December.
So you can stand there and you see an area that was supposed to be Transjordan. This is not a phony radio question. This is not a phony radio host question. This is not a question I know the answer to. This is a real question because you're a smart guy. And I was looking at this before I went on the air with you tonight. Gert Wilders is saying, look, the Palestinians that were supposed to be in Transjordan, the Jordanians, that area is still sitting empty. I've seen it several times. And he's in trouble for saying, it's so controversial that he said that. But is that not historically accurate? Did I miss something in my history reading? Isn't that area supposed to be where the Palestinians had their country? Wasn't Transjordan?
No, it's not correct. He's kind of missing out something. And that's when
me too. Then
it's a complicated part of the world. Both Palestine and Transjordan are artificial. There's no such Palestine. The word was an insult for the Jews that the Roman Empire created to insult them with the name of the Philistines that were the ancient enemy of the Jews. That's where the British got the word Palestine from, the Roman insult for the Jews. Transjordania and the British Mandate, these are all artifice. I mean, I love the Jordanians, and I've trained most of their special forces guys. I mean, I know the royal family. I've taken my family to Jordan, but let's be clear, behind closed doors, even the royal family will admit to you, Jordan was artificial. It was created by the British and never existed. There's no such thing as Jordan before the 20th century. The Brits created Transjordania. So, it's kind of, you got to go back a step. Yes, in theory, in the short history, that's where, quote unquote, the people from that region should be. But the point is this. Israel is Israel and always has been for millennia. If there's any occupier in the region, it's the Muslims and the Arabs. And Gert Wilders, of course, knows that.
Yeah. I'll tell you, standing there and standing in the city of David And I met lots of, and the Jordanians were the coolest of that area. The city of David, it predates Muhammad. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. I mean, you can't, it's insane. Where did you, for me, it was the Garden of Gethsemane. Did you have a favorite spot when you travel there, when you take your listeners there?
Well, the most amazing one of our last trip was when, so they've discovered the original city of David underneath Jerusalem. So when you walk down there, and they by accident, there was a gas burst or a main burst, and they found the original pilgrimage route from the cleansing pool outside Jerusalem all the way up to the temple, and the whole thing is there. And they went down and excavated sideways, and the whole thing is going to be open to, we had a private tour, but the whole thing is going to be open to the public soon. And you realize you're whatever it is, 40, 50 feet beneath an apartment block, and you're standing on these slabs of rock, slabs of stone, where every Jew walked on holy days to the temple from the cleansing pool. And you realize, oh my Lord, Jesus walked. I mean, we know from the Bible, he walked with his family up this path. And I'm literally standing on the same piece of stone that Jesus Christ walked. I mean, I'm sorry, there's nothing, because there's arguments about where is Golgotha, where exactly was the tomb. It's still a little bit contested, but you are there where Jesus walked to the temple when he was a child, and there's nothing more real and tangible than that.
Gethsemane, the trees are still there that Jesus would have stood around. The olive trees are still living. Some of the olive presses, and also I find it very interesting, and we could go on for an hour about this, but the temple where the big gold dome is, we know Jesus walked there, and of course, can't go there. Got to get permission. I went up there, but really, what a statement! What a slap that is, because we know Jesus walked where the gold dome is. I don't know what the church. What do they call that church or that mosque?
The Al-Aqsa, the church of the dome.
It dominates every picture, of course, by design. Okay, well, Dr. Gorka, anything else you want to talk about?
I'm good. I just go back to your initial question for all of your listeners and all of your viewers. Don't complain if you're not actually if you're not running for school board. I don't want to hear from you. If you're not working 16-hour days on election day, if you're not knocking on doors like my wife is to mobilize voters, you are on the side of the enemy. So just pick something to do to save the republic and get busy. Really, you can't dedicate a large chunk of your time in the next 11 months to save this nation for your children, your grandchildren. Come on, let's get serious.
Well, I do a lot of political stuff, brother. But
I'm talking to your listeners.
No, I get it. And as far as the election goes, I worked in an election booth and opened up the machines, and nothing had been touched since the last election, meaning all these machines, nobody had even looked at the ballots. And it's Chicago, and oh well. And, we have our new communist mayor, and he told us what he was, and they voted for him, supposedly. Mm-hmm. So anyway, listen, our friend Kevin Burns, the Academy Award-winning director, loved you, and we'll dedicate this to him. And thank you for coming on. It's been my great honor to have you. And I really am a fan of your show. And how cool that we also have a friendship with Chris Plant, who is, he's from my area here.
Yeah.
So he's my buddy. And the mic is horrible and the lighting is horrible, but you look fantastic, and that's all I care about.
All right. Well, God bless
you,
Kevin Burns, and thank you for inviting me, Mancow.
And keep me in your prayers. Let's pray for each other. Can we do that?
Well, let's pray for the president.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Thank you, Sebastian.
God bless.
Dr. Gorka, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. And should we start the show? That was just a little preview. Should we start the show? What do you think? Can we do that? Oh, we can. from John Felino. This is a great American cigar company, J.C. Newman. A couple of things I want to talk to you about heart to heart, and you can respond to me. Can you put up what Mark Farner said? Ralph, if you find that again, put that up. Sorry about the glitches early on. This sounds horrible tonight. Brother Mancow, this man is on the money about those who call themselves elite and bow. Yeah, man. Thank you. Thank you, Mark. Mark Farner is incredible. And, never forget when he came in my studio with a cowbell and sang American Band. Remember Captain, Your Captain? Great live album, Grand Funk Railroad. Locomotion, of course, and there's many more. And I'm not giving him his props, but he's been on this show and was great. And he had a manager that was, whoa, which they have to do. They have to play the heavy. So I said, can I say hi to Mark? Whoa. He said, I literally talk to him every day. Ralph, how do I sound? Can you hear me? Because this thing is a mess tonight.
You sound fantastic. Okay? You sound absolutely fantastic.
Thank you. Ass kisser, I love it. You can. I mean, you got to hire people that are ass kissers. And he's getting paid big money to be here. Big money. Ralph, how much am I paying you now?
I think last time I checked my bank account, it was the same as last time.
So nothing.
Zero. I do this because I love you, Mancow.
However, I'm going to give you a raise.
All right.
Very
good. Sounds fantastic. Okay. I'm in for it.
So I want to say a couple of interesting things just happened. I like being beat up. I like being challenged. I can handle it. So my question is, and I've been looking at Hungary and looking at Costa Rica, which Costa Rica is probably what I'm hearing is the best. And my wife is an Italian citizen, so I can go anywhere in Europe. And I just find watching Chicago decay very depressing. And I don't know that I want to go sit in Florida with a bunch of ex-New Yorkers, which is basically what I encountered. A lot of Chicagoans do. And the idea of sitting in Portofino, in Italy, and watching the ocean and watching the world and just enjoying my final years with my beautiful wife is a nice concept, a nice idea. Will I do it? I don't know. But I like what he said. You got to be an American. You got to fight. And I have been fighting, folks. You know this. Come on. You can't even imagine the hell that I went through doing that radio show. You can't even imagine. You have no concept. And so-and-so tells it like it is. No, they don't, or they wouldn't be on. There's certain things tonight that, you okay over there? It's like the Simpsons moment when the show gets weak. Really horrible sound. Someone in our studio, we have a little crew here. People write me and I say, come by Muller Manor. One time I had a couple of folks, you may remember I interviewed them. I put them on here. It was a big deal and gave them lots of gifts and cooked a meal that I brought back some of the ingredients from Japan, and the guy didn't touch anything. Worked for a couple of days, Anyway, I want to get to this. No, I think Sebastian Gorka calling me out just then was great. And I want to say that Roger Stone is a friend of mine. And did I respond strong enough? What do you do? Roger is a friend of mine. I love Roger. I think he dresses cool. And when somebody is doing that, I said, well, he's a friend of mine, and I let it go. And I fear that I didn't stick up for my friend enough. And I hope you people didn't think that I came off as weak. Sebastian's our guest. Why fight that? Am I wrong? Well, screw you. Roger Stone's my friend. I can't be angry all the time about everything. The Silver Surfer, all the hippies, everybody in the 60s loved the Silver Surfer, the Marvel character. It's now going to be a woman. And they're saying it's probably going to be a black woman. I have no problem with women. I'm a flaming heterosexual. I have no problem with black women. I'm a flaming heterosexual. Silver Surfer isn't a black woman. Just like Iron Man right now is a 15-year-old black girl in the comic books. Iron Man's Tony Stark, the drunk industrialist. These movies are just dying. I don't understand all the hatred towards Napoleon, by the way, folks. It's good. And probably the movie of the year is The Holdovers. And by the way, yes, I like women, but if you like women and you like men, but none of them like you, you're what's known as a bi yourself. So, yeah. France would not take our cell phones, would not allow our cell phones. So Apple said, well, we'll just lower the radiation. Why can't they do it to us? Why can't they lower the radiation in our cell phones? I know too many people with brain cancer right now, and you have to wonder if it's not this. See, that's a guy that was raised in the 70s and 80s. Who would do this as a phone? Who would do that as a phone? No, he would do this now. And then someone in Congress, spoke before Congress. I would have spoken longer, but nobody was there. But it wasn't in session, and it wasn't January 6th, please. But they were just openly talking about 5G phones being weaponized, which is something I talked about years ago, and it was, of course, very funny. I hope you're waking up to the fact, I'm sure you are, or you wouldn't be watching, that this government doesn't care about you. You know, I had a friend, Michael, who really would believe every stripper was in love with him, and then the money would run out and she wouldn't call and he couldn't figure it out. You ever meet those guys that thought strippers liked him? Yeah. That's the same guy that thinks the government gives a shit about him. They don't. And I don't know what party you're part of, but if you're a rhino Republican or whatever, and you think it's okay for men in dresses to read storybooks to children, I'm not part of that party, whatever that is. Yeah. I woke up last night. There was vegetables all over the bed, chopped up. I was sleepwalking. That joke goes out to Robert Fleischman. I had a Kaiju Galloping Ghost Otak America show. And there it is. There's me and Doc Mack. Oh, how wonderful. Ralph, how nice of you to put that up. We had a very nice turnout. It was out by the Brookfield Zoo. And this was a gift from Doc Mack. And it's a son of Godzilla from long ago in Japan. How cool is that? So this is the Lion's Den. I hope you knew that before you tuned in. This is where the angels and the devils find their truths upside tonight. Me, I'm part man, part monkey, part mystery. And the angels and the devils are playing tug of war with my personality. I hope you will keep me in your prayers. I'm an American. I'm an American, and I will continue to fight. And I like what he had to say. And I saw somebody today, a guy that more and more people want our automobiles to be controlled, that they want a set speed limit and they don't want us to speed. And what kind of a cuck son of a bitch, Pete Buttigieg wannabe would come up with that, huh? Your speed controlled. Can you imagine? Slavery, man. Slavery. That's what they want for us. Prison planet. Maybe my friend Alex was right. Maybe David Icke was right. Have you seen the Mountain Dew ad? If you haven't seen it, go to my Instagram, where the people look in the mirror and they see reptiles, the reptilians, the shapeshifters. Billy Corgan has talked about his experience. And I'm telling you, people that haven't gone public over the years have told me stories. Do I believe it? Here's the honest to God answer. I don't know. But people I love very close to me have told me about these things. And I'm telling you, some people have taken me aside. And it reminds me of the scene in Donald Sutherland's Invasion of the Body Snatchers. That's not him. That's not him in the Chinese laundry, I think it is, or restaurant. That's not him. And these people talk about horrific things. Arrests of Venezuelans are up 2,538% in Chicago. Heartbreaking what's going on. Heartbreaking. Sebastian got me thinking, he was a great guest, wasn't he? Hope you had a nice Thanksgiving. I give thanks to you. Chicken Face, Mark Farner, thank you. Robert Fleischman, I see, is tuned in. And Michael Webdell. Dr. Ronnie is checking in. This is nice. Jim Peterick. This is all good. God bless all of you, and let's keep up the good fight. And if you have any advice for me or anything you want to say, please reach me through Instagram. And I'm much blocked. I'm much shadow banned. It's hard to get to me, but you figure out which one is me. You'll see. And we are live right now. This is Mancow Monday Night Live. And again, much love. God bless you all. And sorry for the glitch at the beginning there, but what a great guest. Wow. Way better than I thought it could be or would be. That was a nice surprise. As my mom used to say, shut up. And I'm going to do that.